Well, it's time for lesson 3-4, where we're going to solve one-step inequalities. Vocabulary, there's quite a bit of it. Addition property of inequality, division property of inequality, inequality, inverse operation, multiplication property of inequality, and subtraction property of inequality. You've worked with inequalities before, mainly graphing them on a number line. So now we're going to actually solve an inequality. So there's equations on expressions on each side of the inequality symbol. So it's an equation. We're going to solve it just like we do if there's an equal sign there. There is one little exception, but we'll talk about that when we get to multiplication and division. We're going to solve for x, so we're going to add 32 to both sides. So in this one, x is greater than 46. This is if we've got addition and subtraction properties. Multiplication and division. So we treat it just like we did the others, except if we multiply or divide by a negative number. So here we're dividing by -2. You have to flip the symbol. The inequality symbol will flip over. So make sure that you watch out for that. To graph solutions, I'll let you pause for a moment and study this. So notice this is a greater than sign. So x is greater than, that means you're going to go to the right of 46. Because this is just a greater than sign, it's an open circle. Pay close attention to that. If x is less than 46, it's going to be, the solution is all numbers less than 46. That's why you have to shade your number line. But since it's less than, open circle. Now notice this one says less than or equal to. That means we have a closed circle. And because it's less than, so anything less than 54 is a solution. On this one, greater than or equal to, close circle, and everything that's greater than. You can check the solution by substituting the value back into the inequality. So if you put a -54 up here, is -2 times -54, does it give you 108? And yes, it does. Example 1. Solve y plus 7 is less than 12. So we know we're going to use the inverse operation. This operation is addition sign, so we know we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. So y is less than 5. Since it's just a less than sign, we know it's going to be an open circle, and y is everything that's less than 5, so we draw an arrow to the left. We can check our solution by picking a number that's to the left of 5. So looking at 4, if we put 4 in, 4 plus 7, is it less than 12? Yes, it is. We can also check by picking a number to the right of 5. So is 6 plus 7, is it less than 12? No. So you can check your answer to see if you've shaded the right area. So if you get confused, just go back and pick one on the left and one on the right of your circle to see which one makes the equation true. Okay, so now it's your turn to work this problem. So pause the video and work it, and then we'll come back and check your solution. Okay, how'd you do? Let you check your answers for a little bit. So this is our given equation. We're adding 15 to both sides. When we simplify, m is less than or equal to 18. This means we're going to have a closed circle, and everything to the left of 18 will be drawn. We can double check that by picking a number to the left of 18, 16. It's 16 less than 15. 16 is the left of 18. 16 minus 15, is that less than or equal to 3? Well, that's 1, so yes it is. Let's pick a number to the right. 20 minus 15, that gives us 5. It's not less than or equal to 3. Good job. Now for example 2, we're going to solve -6w is less than or equal to 18, and then graph the solution on a number line. So here we're dividing both sides by -6. I wish they'd written a negative in there, but they didn't. So when you divide both sides by a negative number, you flip your sign. So w will be greater than or equal to -3 because of the line underneath there where it's going to be a closed circle, and w is greater than, so it's going to shade everything to the right. Okay, so let's practice this again. Your turn. Now we're doing multiplication and division. Then come back in a moment and check your answer. So we always start with what's given. Now you have a division, so we know we have to multiply. That's the inverse operation of division, both sides by 3. The 3 is positive, so we're not going to flip the sign. This is indicative of an open circle, and it's going to place an open circle on 12, and we're going to shade to the right because D is greater than 12. Excellent. Okay, time to practice a little bit. They want us to solve this inequality and then give the steps as well that you're using. So if you need to go back and look at a previous example, you can do that. Then they want you to graph the solution. So tell us where you're going to place the circle, okay, and which way you're going to draw the arrow, and then actually do it on a number line. Then they want you to pick a number to the left and to the right of your solution to find out if you've got the right answer that's shaded. Okay, we subtracted -5 from both sides, so x is greater than -4. So we're going to place an open circle on -4, and since it's greater than, we're going to shade it to the right. So let's pick a number to the left. They picked a -5. You could pick a -6 or whatever. Doesn't matter, but regardless, if you pick something to the left of -4, it's not going to work. But anything to the right of -4 is going to give you a true answer. Something you don't want to ever do is if you get x is greater than -4, don't pick -4. That makes it more difficult for you to determine because that's not a shaded area. That's where the circle is. So just make sure that you pick something to the left or to the right of the circle. Okay, we've got a little more practice. This time we're working with some fractions and oh, look here. This should be a clue what you're going to do. So they show you how we're going to multiply both sides by -2. So z is, and what inequality symbol goes there, and your answer. Make sure you list your steps, graph it on the number line. Is it going to be an open or closed circle? And then pick a solution to the left or the right to see if you've got your answer correct. Okay, because you're multiplying by a negative number, did you remember to flip your sign? I hope so. So this is going to be a closed circle because of that line underneath there. And z is greater than. So let's pick a number. They picked a 2. Doesn't matter what number you pick as long as it's left of 8. So -1/2 times 2. Here's the trick about picking whatever's in the denominator. They cancel out so you don't have as much math. So is 2 less than or equal to -4? No, it isn't. 10, we picked 10. It's right of 8, so -1/2 times 10. Is that less than or equal to -4? Yes, it is. So notice the trick. You have to go back to your original equation. Is 1/2 of z less than or equal to -4? You don't do this. You don't solve for greater than. Okay, did you get all those steps? Good job. Let's go on to the next part. Okay, these are pretty simple practice. I would like for you to solve these inequalities, tell me what your answer is, and then graph the solution on a number line. You've got 4 different problems here. Oh, here, don't forget to flip the symbol so they help you out to help you remember. And then we'll come back and check your answers in a moment. Okay, take just a moment. You may want to pause this to check your answers and then you can come back. Okay, so S is less than 5. B is greater than or equal to 5, X is greater than 10, and C is greater than or equal to -4. So notice they flipped the symbol. Good job. And finally, we have a word problem. And it may help if you were to write this down so that you could underline the key words that are in this problem. A lot of times they give you a lot of words that don't help you solve the problem. So you need to look for keywords. What is it I'm actually going to use? Solve the problem. Write down the steps you used to solve the problem. Give me your answer and how you checked your answer. This one's pretty simple. We just divide both sides by -2. So j is less than 24. So we've simplified. More than twice as old as j. So if Roberta's 48 years old, we need to know it's more than twice. Does it say or equal to? So this is our inequality. So we wrote and solved an inequality. The answer is j is less than 24 years old. And we can substitute a number that's less than 24 into the inequality to see if it comes up to be less than 48. Excellent. So now you're ready to start your skills, concepts, and problem solving.